Battlecry of Freedom by Ngakma Nor'dzin.
Part 2. The Slogans. Slogan 3. Examine fundamental unborn awareness.
Ma kie rigpe shi la che.
Primordial awareness is unborn and beginningless. It is self-arisen and non-constructed. Perfect riding self-arises in the moment. My first experience of riding a fight or flight reaction was early in my life as a horse rider. I had been given Midnight, a larger gelding than I was used to riding. At that time, I had just started to go out on trail rides with a group, mostly at a walk with an occasional trot. Something spooked Midnight and he bolted. I remember him cantering, possibly edging into a gallop, beyond the end of the trail and onto the road. He then calmed down of his own accord, slowed to walk, and finally stopped. He started to graze the verge as if nothing had happened. Not long after, the rest of the ride caught up with us. I had dismounted by then and was sitting on the ground by midnight crying. I was put on a different pony and rode back to the yard without incident. It wasn't until much later that it registered with me. I had ridden the bolt. It was the first time I had cantered, but I had not fallen off. I chose to dismount when Midnight stopped, but I was not thrown. I was shocked by the incident, but whilst Midnight was out of my control, I had simply ridden. It could be said that this was my first real experience of riding because it occurred naturally through the natural capacity to ride. Any possibility of engaging intellectual analysis or a concept about how to ride dissolved into the need to stay on Midnight's back as the safest option.
Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche says, and when you see that the mind does not exist as anything, you should stay in that experience without an attempt to label or define it.
Fundamental unborn awareness is like natural riding. It is available to discover, but is obscured by intellect and concept. Meditation enables its discovery by cutting through intellect and concept. Meditation places the mind in the reality of the present moment, just as Midnight's bolt enabled me to place my reality in riding in the moment. Fundamental unborn awareness is Rigpa. It is awakening, and the goal and the fruit of Buddhist practice. Rigpa is the experience of non-duality, the non-duality of form and emptiness. The form qualities of emptiness are that emptiness is unchanging. The emptiness qualities of form are that form continually changes and moves. In this way, emptiness and form are non-dual in being inseparable. The experience of unborn awareness, the awareness of non-duality, is hidden by the process of concretizing and focusing on form and ignoring emptiness.
Ngakchen Rinpoche recalled Malachi bolting when Rinpoche had only just started to learn to trot. I had not tied my lead rope well and had to dismount to attend to the trailing rope. I told the others to ride on. I'd catch up. That was my second mistake. The third mistake was to ask for a trot. Malachi trotted 3 or 4 strides and broke into a canter. We turned a right-angle bend in the trail, and I avoided falling by clinging to the pommel and ramming my feet forward. Having rounded the bend, Malachi panicked on not seeing our company ahead of him. He broke into a gallop. I clung to the pommel, hoping he'd slow when he saw the other horses. Then the metal gate hove into view, and I knew that injury or death lay ahead. Oh well, no point in panicking. If he jumps, he jumps. At that last moment he swung round a tree at the other side of the gate and came gently to a walk behind the other horses. "You're quite some rider," Bill commented. I burst out laughing. "No, I'm quite some survivor." Panicking is never a good choice, on a horse or anywhere else.
To discover unborn awareness, Rigpa, the present moment must be embraced exactly as it is. It cannot be embraced as how it might be or how it was. When the moment has been exactly as it is, then the moment dies. It dissolves into emptiness, and the next moment arises. This is also embraced exactly as it is. Continuing in this way is awakening. Recognizing that exactly as it is the only reality is the experience of Rigpa. The entire path of mind training indicates how to ride the experience of as it is.
Shema Rinpoche says, "Analyze every moment. How does it exist? Where in the moment are the forms you see, the sounds you hear, the smells you smell, the tastes you taste, the sensations you feel?"
Meditation is the primary and most essential method to examine the nature of mind and to learn to dwell in the present moment exactly as it is. This slogan is an instruction to engage in such practices. The intellect cannot discover Rigpa. Meditation practices of direct examination rather than intellectual analysis enable practitioners to look at the mind directly and let go of involvement with the phenomena of conceptual mind. This examination facilitates the discovery of fundamental unborn awareness. Examining the mind is an essential practice and is the basis from which all training becomes possible.
Trangu Rinpoche says, "This contemplation of looking for the mind, trying to find if it has any reality or not, is a very important practice to do over and over again until we are convinced that the nature of mind is emptiness."
The horse responds to a thought or an imperceptible movement of leg. The rider asks skillfully and respectfully, and the horse responds accurately and willingly. The harmonious relationship is matchless. It is joyful, timeless and beyond concept. It cannot be forced, only discovered. Skills and experience can be developed over time, but the moment of discovering presence in the dimension of the total harmony of rider, horse and riding is spontaneous.